What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is the brand new, beautiful white, blue, and gold Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 Beta. We are going to hop straight into it. Now, Mizuno products all come in this really nice matte black box with the Made in Japan in gold right here. Very, very simple. And then you have basically a blank box. Really super simple. And then you've got your little size guide with a little photo, just like some of the Under Armour boots actually. They put a little photo here just to make it really easy to pull off the shelf and all that stuff. So Morelia Neo 4 Beta Japan. This is of course the brand new colorway. These are a Euro 42, my usual size 9 US, which is a UK 8 or a 27 centimeters. Now getting these unboxed is going to be probably pretty standard to most Made in Japan unboxings. You get a actually I'm gonna do that really quick, very nice, well actually it's not that great, but you do get a string bag with the boots, which is always a good thing. I wish Mizuno for this price point of just about $300 US would do a little bit of a nicer string bag, but I get it. I understand why they wouldn't invest money into that. And then let's get these unboxed. Oh my days. I think they've absolutely nailed it with this colorway. Look at how beautiful those look. The blue is such a rich color. It's so beautiful. Obviously, the white base is what we've seen on a bunch of different Mizuno colorways at this point. And then the little kind of subtle flecked gold accents on the external heel counter here, and then here through this kind of ribbing through the midfoot and heel area, and then of course your center forefoot stud in gold is a really nice touch as well. So very beautiful looking football boots. Let's get the other one out as well. That's it for the box. So we will throw this down, get this guy over there for you, and there you go. Very nice. So this is the Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 Beta. Obviously the Beta edition is slightly different from the non-Beta in that it comes with the Mizuno knit here in the lacing system area, and then it goes just all the way right around here for a little collar to make it, I guess, feel a little bit more seamless than the non-Beta version. I actually find the non-Beta to be a little bit more comfortable straight out of the box, just because it's got a much more flexible synthetic leather here in the forefoot area, as opposed to this kind of textile based mesh synthetic. I always mess that up. Textile based mesh synthetic. Yes, it's I'm mincing my words, I get it, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Most of the people that I've actually spoken to recently, as of the filming of today's video, the playtest for the non-Beta kind of Volt Yellow edition has just come out, and a lot of the comments are saying, dude, I wish I could buy those. Unfortunately, the only ones that are available in my country, whether it's the UK, anywhere in the EU, or honestly, really a lot of other places, the Beta edition is really the only one that's available. Part of that, my guess, is that the Beta is sort of more of a modern take on the Mizuno Morelia Neo series, whereas the non-Beta version follows a lot more the style of a lot of other Made in Japan products, a lot of the ASICS products, a lot of Athleta products as well. So a lot of like Japanese brands, that sort of follows that DNA, as opposed to the knit tongue, the really kind of tight mesh synthetic material here in the midfoot follows a lot of what other brands are doing, right? You get knit in the midfoot of, or in the lacing system area of the Vapor, you get knit in the lacing system of the F50 laceless, all those types of things. So they're sort of following suit with that a little bit, but I think the execution of this is actually really fantastic. So from a construction standpoint, you've got this really beautiful top of the line K leather. In my opinion, this is some of the best leather on the market, if not the best. The only thing really that rivals this particular model is, of course, the Made in Japan Mizuno non-Beta and the Morelia 2. The Morelia 2 is debatably the most plush out of the group, and that's kind of the most premium because that's like their flagship model. But I will say that it is one of those things that you just, I don't know, it's kind of a personal preference, I guess, but needless to say, all of the Mizuno leather is absolutely exceptional. Then from this seam here and this seam here, basically through the heel area, you get a mesh synthetic midfoot and sort of it's basically a knit material through the midfoot that's got a coating over the top to make it really, really nice and secure. And then this running bird logo actually acts as a little bit of lateral and medial side support as well, which is a really nice thing. One of the things that makes Mizuno products so special is that they go through a 24-hour lasting period. What that does is that gives the boots a much better shape straight out of the box than a lot of other brands. And it's one thing a lot of other brands will do, a couple hours of lasting or maybe even 30 minutes of lasting, whereas the 24-hour lasting period really allows the materials to mold to the mold, I guess, technically speaking. So you put the foot shape mold in there for the different size and you let it last. And instead of the materials only just kind of getting on there and coming together for a couple hours, and then the shape of the boot is kind of all over the place, these actually have an anatomical shape straight out of the box, which makes Mizuno products uniquely comfortable straight out of the box, which is awesome. And that's why, in my opinion, they are so special. The sole plate is one of the best, in my opinion, on the market. It's all conical studs, obviously, except for this gold stud here, which is basically just a bar or a kind of ovular shape. You're not going to get really much performance benefit out of that particular one, other than when you kind of step and push off going forward. But other than that, this is an excellent sole plate. Reminds me a lot of the Asics sole plate from the DS Lite X-Fly 5 that I love so much. And that's one that I think absolutely crushes pretty much everything on the market, particularly because the snapback and responsiveness of this sole plate is very impressive. The midfoot rigidity is excellent, and they've kind of done these cutouts to reduce a little bit of weight. You've got really nice kind of transverse stability as well. So as I'm moving, ideally I'm trying to twist the sole plate that way, and you shouldn't have too much back and forth, but this is like just the right amount, and then a little bit more flexibility right here through that forefoot area, which is absolutely fantastic. Now the insole has a little bit of suede to it, unfortunately. Actually got to get this. There you go. It's a little bit dirty, excuse me, but yeah, so this is a suede material. It's not any of the nano grip or any of, or not nano grip, excuse me. Oh yeah, nano grip. It's not the grip element that you do get on, or Zero Glide, excuse me. Nano grip is Puma's technology. The Zero Glide on here, this is more of just a nice suede material, which actually will work really well with most grip socks. Most notably things like the WeFoot grip socks, which have, instead of a silicone coating on the bottom, they have more of like a felt material that grips really well. True Socks does a similar thing as well. So that's going to be great. And then you do have an internal cage here on the midfoot of both the medial and the lateral sides to keep you super, super locked in. That's like basically a stability cage, if you will, as well. Now, these come in roughly around 195 to 200 grams, which is remarkably lightweight for a leather football boot, or partially leather football boot. Again, the Made in Japan beta version is a little bit less sort of all-encompassing leather feeling, even though your toes get this amazing leather touch on the ball. And it does feel like a leather boot with sort of the benefits of the modern things that you want from a boot, right? You want the lockdown, you want the heel stability, all that stuff, and the suede in the heel liner does a great job of locking you in as well. Now, I have reviewed this exact model in that Volt yellow colorway. This is one that I could not get my hands on a pair, just because I think this colorway is just ridiculously, insanely beautiful. So I am really impressed with what they've done with this. Obviously, it's like once every 900 years that Mizuno releases a new colorway, so it's exciting and fun. Let's get these out on feet, and we will talk about sizing, we'll talk about shape and fit, and why I think as much as this is their top dog with the Alpha, as far as like the most technologically advanced boots, I do prefer the non-beta version, and I'm going to tell you why in the on-feet portion of the video. Let's rock and roll. All right, fam, out here in the backyard. It's a beautiful and very windy day today here in Melbourne. We have the Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 Betas. I am very pumped to get these on feet, really only because of the looks. I know they fit decently well. The 1 month review has come out, I think, a while ago for the Volt version or the electric yellow version of these. A little bit tough to break in, unfortunately, but once they are broken in, they are very, very nice. So let's get these on feet, and wow, do they look incredible in the sunlight, all white with the blue and gold accents. Fantastic. I am wearing a pair of WeFoot grip socks. You guys can find 20% down in the description box below. It's a discount code. They've hooked us up with code NOAH20, and you guys can get 20% off your entire order. All right, so getting my feet in the Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 Beta. Very nice. So right away, as soon as without tying the laces, I want to talk a little bit about the way that these fit just in general. So this is the sizing, right? So sizing 9 US fits perfectly. I think if you had a narrow foot, you could probably go down half a size, but I find that true to size actually fits my foot perfectly. The knit that goes basically from here all the way back, this knit-based synthetic material, is a little bit stiff straight out of the box, but it is quite thin from the sense that it will stretch, it will mold a little bit after some playtime, which is great for players who have a little bit of a wider foot. That being said, if you have a wide foot like me, I would probably recommend trying to find the non-beta version because it does have quite a bit more flexibility because they've replaced all the knit material here in the midfoot and the heel with a synthetic leather that actually stretches quite a bit from a width perspective. So yes, these fit my foot, even though they are a little bit on the narrow side, but they do break in pretty well. And they fit actually pretty decent straight out of the box, even though during the break-in time, I will get some hot spots on the outside of my feet, especially right here where the kind of the bottom end of that Running Bird logo is. It's just one of those things that is kind of inevitable with boots like this that have that synthetic midfoot. So here we go, getting the other one in, and the right one's fitting about the same, which is good. For those who have different sized feet, like different lengths of feet, that's something that I get asked every once in a while. There is occasionally a subscriber or a follower on Instagram who messages me about that. And my recommendation is always, if you can afford it, get 2 different pairs of boots. But if you can't, go with the bigger size and then put something in the toe box or in the heel of the other or the smaller pair, right? So there you go. That's what they look like on feet. I think they look incredible, if I'm honest. I think these definitely trump the neon Volt ones, even though I love the way those Volt yellow ones look, those electric green yellow ones. I do think that the classic white with the royal blue and gold accents just looks incredible. It's very, very Mizuno because this is like one of their brand colors. This blue is like one of their brand colors. In fact, I'll show you the little care instructions kit. That's the care instructions kit that comes with the boots, and this is their Mizuno blue, and it's the exact same color. So that's one of those things. I love when brands do like their own color of boot. It's like when Nike does a boot that's in their brand orange, which is very, very cool. So here's a full look at the boots. Honestly, incredible, regardless of what kind of color kit you're wearing. The white with the blue accents just looks so clean on feet. There is a little bit of space on the outside of my ankle. So if you can see right here, I can stick about 1 finger, maybe the tip of 2 fingers, kind of right in this little ankle area. That goes away after break-in time. It's not perfect, so the yellow ones that I have, they're not completely perfect. They don't sit completely flush to my foot like the non-beta versions do, but they still do break in quite a bit from that knit material on the outsides of the foot as well. So touch on the ball is one of those really unique sensations you get with the made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 Betas, because you have the really, really beautifully thin and free feeling leather in the forefoot. And then you have the knit in the midfoot, which just adds this like really kind of nice sock-like sensation on the midfoot area. And what that does is during play, when you're manipulating the ball, you're passing the ball, it really feels like you just have that second sock-like sensation on. But then when you're striking the ball, when you're taking a touch kind of down off, like out of the air, you know, if I'm taking a touch down like this, that leather feeling just gives you that really nice and plush sensation, sort of free sensation to move around inside the boots however you see fit, which is super, super cool. One of the issues that I think a lot of people have with these Mizuno boots is actually in the heel area. I am one of the lucky, I guess, people who have quite a thin heel area. So this heel area is, in my opinion, one of the best on the market, perhaps behind Asics, who make the best heel areas. In my opinion, there's quite a bit of padding basically from here all the way around in like a bar that goes around the back, and it locks my heel in really well because it is quite a lot thinner. But I would say that for those of you who do have either wider heel shapes or something else, you might want to look at something like a Morelia 2 instead of the Morelia Neo 4 Beta and Neo 4 non-beta version, because both of those have quite a bit of quite a narrower heel, whereas the Asics, for instance, have like the perfect amount of padding to kind of stretch and mold to whatever shape of heel area you have. Sole plate for the Morelia Neo 4 series is fantastic, in my opinion. It's one of the best on the market, in my opinion. I am a huge fan of the all conical stud pattern. I think it looks great. I think it feels incredible as well. Could it use a little bit more snappiness in the forefoot? Yeah, maybe. But I think that's the case about a lot of different football boots. So the direct competition with this kind of being the Asics DS Lite X-Fly 5 and X-Fly Pro 2, and potentially even the new Acros 3 is kind of in that category as well. Maybe the Diadora Brazil Elite Veloce is in there. That sole plate is really nice, in my opinion. It's not anything crazy special, but it's probably a step or two down from this one, but there's a lot of boots that kind of share the DNA of this Morelia Neo 4 Beta, and that's the synthetic in the midfoot, leather in the forefoot, and then a nice kind of speed boot or sort of like a speed leaning type sole plate, which is great. But honestly, overall, for those of you interested in one of the best boots on the market, like period, these are the ones to buy, especially if you have a little bit of a narrow shaped foot. I think you are going to absolutely love these. They're thin, they feel comfortable, they're super incredibly soft in the forefoot area, and they just are like, they feel very performance oriented, even though they are a leather football boot. So you're going to get nice amount of, ability to control it. You feel very barefoot. There's really no distractions on the ball. And one of the things that Mizuno has nailed with this, similar to the Asics brand, is the transition here between the midfoot, where it's the knit and the synthetic material, and this leather is totally seamless. So although you're going to feel on the inside of the boot a difference between the leather and the synthetic, right? So the leather is obviously a lot more flexible. You're not going to feel any sort of difference when striking the ball. Like, it feels totally seamless there on the medial side, and then here on the lateral side, it's perfectly streamlined, which is awesome. Somehow they've managed to put like the most premium leather on the forefoot, make it thin enough to sort of mirror that knit and synthetic material in the midfoot, and just have done a fantastic job. So really, it's one of those boots that is constantly in my rotation. I'm absolutely going to be wearing these a ton, because we've already done a Neo 4 and Neo 4 Beta playtest and 1 month review. You probably won't see a playtest of this particular colorway, but go and check out the playtest for the beta version of that yellow and red colorway for all my thoughts on what it's actually like to play with. And then of course the 1 month review, if you're interested in a comprehensive, like longer term review of the Morelia Neo 4 Beta, which I think is one of the best boots on the market, if not the best, for like an overall combination of objective comfort, performance, and fit and comfort and all that stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video and review of the Morelia Neo 4 Beta. I enjoy wearing Mizuno all the time. I think they are one of the most incredible boots on the market. They are easily up there in top 3 brands on the market right now, and definitely the Neo 4 Beta is up there for possibly top 5, I would say like top 5, top 10 boots on the market for just objective performance and comfort. So like the video if you got value from it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you go down in the description box below. You can purchase some WeFoot grip socks with that 20% discount code as well. They are awesome. I love them. And they feel really great in boots that are a little bit on the tighter side as well, because these are the thin ones. And then you can also get the thick ones as well. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.